100 men are not taking on. I mean,
But I just
men
think
taking
though,
on a gorilla easily.
I just think though, like, would you not say a gorilla is 100 times stronger than a man?
It is
No,
like,
I
it is
wouldn't
very,
say
it's much
it's
stronger.
100 times
maybe
stronger.
100,
No,
But it is much stronger for sure. Like,
it's definitely
but-
stronger.
I
Mate.
feel like, hey, let's say hand to
But
hand.
hand to
combat.
hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've got 100 Francis Ngannous, I'm saying it's
Here's the
slightly
thing.
different. I'm talking about
Yeah.
100 average
Okay,
men.
here's the thing. Are we going
think-
like one gorilla and like 100 people like this, 1v1 like this?
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not realistic.
How
No,
are
so
doing it
you're saying they're
realistic?
gonna one by one.
Well, no, they'll run, but like realistically, you can only
But how
have like
many-
4
I-
really actually trying to hit.
Okay, no,
like,
but what-
watching
No,
watching
when is
what was it? Eddie.
Eddie Hall versus,
Eddie Hall versus those two small guys,
Australian
right?
Twins, yeah.
They are trained
Yeah, but
fighters.
that's
Yeah,
two.
okay, but that's 2v1.
That's two. If there were 100 of them, I
But that's what I'm
think
saying.
Eddie Hall gets
But like,
taken
but like,
down.
even with the 2 of them, they couldn't really get to him.
No, there's no
They couldn't
way.
really get like. How many men are you sacrificing?
At least.
How many do you think die?
I
then?
think at least
40.
20 to 30 to 40.
I think
yeah.
30
I
to
think
40
like
would die.
if we're saying the men win, it's like 75 dead men, or at least badly
No, it's
mauled.
gonna be
Yeah,
40,
no,
30,
there'll
40
definitely be
dead.
injuries
six,
and
A
like
gorilla
that.
grabs your arm's off.
Yeah.
Like that's
If it
all
really
it. That's
wanted
all
to
it
pull
takes.
off,
That's
it's
all it takes.
gone.
It
But
is.
think
gone.
about that. Like all it takes,
But
bro.
if-
You swing one punch, you're dead.
But here's
Like,
the
do you know what I
thing.
mean?
Here's the thing.
So you're saying,
telling me the
let's put
gorilla
this
has
realistically.
endless
There's
energy,
no. All it takes. What you're saying is 100 kicks and punches is killing this gorilla.
No.
No, because eventually we're gonna get enough people to just dogpile on
Yeah,
top of
exactly. That's the theory. I feel like there's gonna be a point in
Yeah.
time where there's gonna be multiple people
There's a certain-
being able
there's
to
a
attack a
certain-
gorilla
there's a
in certain
certain-
ways, and it's also you're not just gonna be punching it in the
it. Yeah,
face.
and
Come
there's
on.
a certain
There's
way.
no rules
Bro,
around
you
here.
try and
Like,
give
that
it.
monkey
Bro,
definitely
bro,
isn't
you
gonna
try and
come.
headlock it. Those
Bro,
teeth are going through
all
your
I'm
arm
saying is
instantly.
You could
There's
you
even
can
a-
bite it as well, you know.
What's that gonna do? A human bite or a gorilla bite?
But even
100,
like,
would you rather take 100 human bites or one gorilla bite?
one gorilla bite. I'll
Yeah,
take.
one
really?
gorilla
No,
bite,
that
one
kills
gorilla
you.
bite.
That kills
No,
you
No, but
instantly.
where are you getting bit?
Bro,
See, there's
on the
just
shoulder,
there's just so many
your
variables
whole-
in
this-
this whole
all of
like
this is
conflict,
gone.
honestly.
the
Yeah,
whole
probably-
of this is gone.
Get it restructured in there, bro.
Bro, it's off. It's off.
Okay, but all I'm saying is, even Eddie Hall, there's a certain weight where he can't lift, and that gorilla's not. Imagine if the 100 fat
How
guys.
heavy
then
is a
what?
gorilla, would you say?
What if the 100 fat guys were all fat, like huge guys?
Bro,
Like,
yeah, but even if they just pile on top of him,
Yeah,
it
the
just
gorilla
rips.
suffocate,
It will
bro.
just be ripping
No
through
one could
them.
even like nudge a gorilla, I don't
But
think.
also-
Like,
but
even
you've
if you
also-
were trying to move it.
wait, so are you back on gorilla team? Are you on gorilla team now?
No, I'm not.
But like, but
Yeah.
also, but you could also think, in the real world, do you think 75 men are going to sacrifice themselves?
yeah,
just-
I know, but
just
that's
for
the
the other
theory behind it.
25
It's
to
like, Why
win.
would the argument even be there if the people aren't actually
Yeah,
gonna
willing to
go and
sacrifice.
try to?
Let's put it.
Kill
Let's put
this
it in a real.
gorilla.
Let's
Yeah,
put it in a
let-
real.
let's-
Let's put it in a real. Let's put it in a realistic scenario. There's 100 men in a village, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The gorilla comes in.
Mm.
Let's be honest. They're all running.
Yeah, no one's
Like,
gonna. No one is
But
swearing
if,
up to
if,
the
there,
gorilla
if,
any
there was,
day.
if there was a case
Unless
of
it's like the friendliest guy, like my brother
Yeah.
Harambe. There's like,
But
there's no other way.
if the gorilla
Yeah,
walks
it's
into
done.
the village and the 100 men were like, we gotta take this guy out, I think the 100 men will win eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually they would. There were gonna be casualties, there's gonna be
There's-
injuries,
yeah.
but 100 will win in the end.
Maybe. I don't think the gorilla dies though.
Well,
I think a lot of
Hand-to-hand combat.
There's a lot of dead men.
yeah. Well, with more
100%.
hand-to-hand combat. Yo guys, welcome back to the Blue Podcast Network. This is the Black and Blue Show. My name's Dan. I'm joined today by Tom, with Tom, not by Tom, with Tom. And we have Jake making his first appearance on the Black and Blue Show.
That's your camera.
Yeah, that's your camera.
Yeah,
That one.
easy.
How you feel, Jake? You first
Good,
time
man.
here?
It's good to be on the show.
First
Yeah.
time on the
Yeah.
Blue Podcast Network.
Exactly. Got a
Yeah,
few things to
definitely.
talk about today as well.
It's been a
Recent
big
stuff
weekend.
for the WWE. We had a big fight, British fight there. Conor Benn against Eubank
We all watched
Jr.
it together
we
on
all watched
Saturday.
Yeah,
together
we
as
were all
well.
together for that.
And then there was the UFC fight night as well that we gotta cover. So we might go through that one first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happened Saturday night, so where we enjoyed a lovely party of Tom's that
Yes.
night. I actually ended
Yeah.
up watching it, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Did
I
you?
got home
Supposedly he was up
Yeah,
until 6 in the morning
got
watching that
home.
fight.
and I was chilling, and I was like, you know what? The UFC's on. Like the last 3 or 4 fights are on. Like, main cards already on. I might as well watch it right before I go to
Yeah.
bed. I
I
ended up
mean,
staying up.
if you
watched
had the
it.
I mean, I was up till that time
Some
as well.
crazy fights. The first one I'll bring up was Dalby's fight. Dalby was against who was he against? Do you remember?
Oof.
Nick Dalby.
I don't know the name, but I know it was a really good fight. Dalby's always had like great performances. We watched him before together, and we just were like, "This guy scraps."
Yeah,
The whole
he
fight was
scraps,
just
bro.
a scrap. Like they
Like,
were just
proper fight.
fighting.
Yeah, Randy Brown, that was it. So Randy Brown got the win in round 2 in the end, KO, TKO. But Dalby, I'd say this guy's a warrior, but when he's fighting, like it's just like blood is coming.
Yeah, he goes to bang. Like he's
And,
not.
Yeah.
Who was the fighter that we watched when he was literally laying the elbows on that guy's face and you could just see blood spurt?
Oh, fuck. Oh.
I'm trying to remember who that was.
It happened recently again as well.
Did it?
With
bro,
Anthony
those
Smith's
elbows
fight.
on the floor.
Yeah, Anthony Smith got a.
Dalby got
beating.
cut bad as well. A lot of big ones.
That's the thing
Michel
with-
Pereira. So
Yes.
his fight lost again.
Yeah, he's been
Lost
on a bit of
I
a
think he's
streak
kind of
now, right?
fallen off personally.
Yeah.
Like
He just had that time where he was doing all these like showboaty, like capoeira kind of moves that everyone was kind of like falling in love with, you know. Like there's not many fighters in the sport that really try to stand out in those like flamboyant kind of ways, and he was just doing backflips on top of like grounded opponents and stuff like that. It was just a crazy
and I think,
fighter.
like I said, his style, I think as much as we appreciate it as a fan, like, you know, man, that's really cool, I don't think it's going to take him insanely far in the UFC. Because somebody's going to
He's too far down that. Like,
would you say realistically to be one of the top, you have to arguably be really good on the floor?
Yeah, I think it has to be a part of your game. All of the biggest fighters are able to do something on the ground. Yeah. Like, let's say just
or at least defend a takedown.
Yeah, like Merab versus Sean. Like, if you thought about it, if Sean could not do anything on the ground, Merab's going to just, like... Yeah, same for Conor. Conor could actually defend some takedowns from Khabib, but at the end of the day...
Khabib was just so much better.
At the end of the day, Khabib's just a much better wrestler, much better on the ground, and he just took the fight that way.
Stamina is different. He
knows how to work on the ground.
Yeah, he does. He wrestled bears since he was like 8 years old or something, bro. That's crazy. Imagine being brought up to wrestle bears. I mean, in the UK, there is
whole different perspective on life.
I
bet Khabib could be one of those 100 men going up against the bloody bear, man.
I feel like if the UK was a
10 Khabibs versus one
bear. If the UK had animals like bears, because the most dangerous one here is a fox. Like, you're not gonna wrestle a fox. That's like sad, bro.
Honey badger.
Technically, it's an adder, surely.
Yeah.
Oh, like snake. Yeah, true. But you're not gonna wrestle a snake.
I think 100 men do beat an adder, personally.
Think about this is
100 men versus a bear.
Wait, one Khabib beats a bear.
No,
100 men are killing a gorilla, bro.
That was a baby bear.
And the bear isn't going for the
Wait,
kill.
can
It's
I-
been
yeah,
like
can I-
around humans for
Can I spin
ages.
it?
Yeah.
100 men versus one polar bear.
GG, polar bear wins.
Polar bear wins.
Polar bear
wins.
is
the
different.
most dangerous animal on the planet.
Different, yeah, it is the most.
But
We
like,
saw that recently as
Have
well.
you seen like the documentaries where they will actually like persistently hunt you down for kilometer after kilometer after kilometer just because they want to? Just because they want to. There's no like gain for them. They don't get that much meat out of it. They're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna kill you.
It's instinct, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, Pereira, I said, lovely to watch the way he fights. I just don't think it's gonna take him very far, especially in the middleweight division.
It's like stacked division.
Yeah,
he's a good fighter.
Yeah.
Third from the bottom. Onama against Giga Chikadze. Chikadze is actually a very decent fighter, I think. I think he's a very decent fighter. Onama, I think, is new or relatively new to the UFC. Only 2 losses in his MMA career. Had a decent, solid performance against Chikadze. I think overall kind of shut him out. Did a good job. Got the decision in the end. But now these 2 fights were the more interesting fights of the night, I'd say.
Definitely.
First one, a retiring Anthony Smith. So his last fight in the UFC. Legend. He's been in that for ages. His record's 38-22. Not the best fighter in the world, but you know he's gonna go in there and throw hands. Like he's just gonna go and throw himself into it. I just feel like for so many up and coming
fighters, he's always like that path.
He's like that
he's always like that
gateway
token
fighter
you need to get to like go to the next level.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
He's like that key that you need to get to go on to the next mission of like the video game. You know, like if you can beat this guy and get past him,
then you can go to the next one.
Then you can start fighting some of the bigger fighters.
Because he's still a tough test. Some people
and
have
he
lost
will
him.
still fight.
He will still beat people as well.
Is he top 10?
I
wouldn't be surprised if he's top 15 for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think he was 15, if I'm not wrong.
He's always been fighting. Always been fighting the guys.
He's quite active as well for his age. He's retired now.
Last
but
year he must have fought at least twice.
Yeah,
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, he fought in 2024. He fought 3 times.
3 times, wow.
And the most recent one.
And
December.
who has he fought his last 3 fights?
So his last 3 fights he's lost. Dolitze he lost. Reyes he lost, and then Zhang Mingyang. So he fought against Zhang Mingyang, the upcoming light heavyweight from China. I think he's undefeated in UFC.
Undefeated in UFC.
Undefeated in UFC.
Damn.
known as the Mountain Tiger.
Okay.
I don't know what to expect from him yet, but interested to see where he carries on. Like beating Anthony Smith by no means is easy. I'll say that. He's not easy to put away either.
He's fought so many different fighters. Yeah. He knows how fighters work.
He's experienced.
He could probably sense like that he was gonna be a bit like
you're gonna get excited.
Yeah, he's scared to fight.
Like there's gonna be
able to capitalize on all those moments, you know, because
he's an experienced fighter and like he's not easy to put away. So Zhang Mingyang being able to put him away, I think that's very positive signs, but also could be a good reason as to why Anthony Smith is stopping now.
Yeah, some brutal elbow blows there.
Definitely, like, bro.
In that fight,
some absolutely cut him open.
Cut open
terrible.
His forehead, bleeding on the ground. He was getting
it was
ground
like a faucet, bro.
For a couple like 30, 40 seconds.
When you cut there, like there's so much blood.
Yeah, literally. 100%. And then there was the main event. My guy, one of my favorite fighters, Carlos Prates, was up against Ian Gary.
Who I predicted last week to win, by the way.
Yeah. Ian Gary.
No.
Prates. Ian Gary had fantastic fight. I think Ian Gary is brilliant. Showed everyone how good he really is.
He's been fighting that way.
He was really good. I think well-rounded throughout the whole fight. Showed his like skill on the ground. Showed his skill on the feet.
So was this a title fight or?
No, it was just a main event. It was a main event. 5-round main event.
Okay. I think for both of them, it would have pushed them into like a. If you win your next fight, you're definitely get a title shot.
You're getting some sort of title shot
if you win your
or
next fight
number one contender type of situation.
Kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prates, I think, looked maybe like a bit gun shy. Either that or just the way Gary fought kind of like helped to neutralize what Prates' weapons were. Because Prates is a monster though still. I think he caught him a couple of times. Gary didn't like it. And towards the last round, there was a moment where Prates turned him on the ground and he managed to get a hammer fist, and it looks like Gary just like, holy, what hit me? You know? It looked like what the hell hit me.
He was maneuvering on the ground to try to defend, but just something hit him quickly, and it was just like this freeze frame.
Just, like,
literally, like he goes to start blocking, and he just gets absolutely walloped.
And then Prates, like, as you think Prates might see like Gary looks a bit like he doesn't like go like boom like smash it like go like like
just
capitalize.
He tries to find the
perfect punch. It's like bro, he looks like he's about to go out cold if you like hit him a bit more.
If you really gave him.
So if you think he'd actually done that, he would have.
It was close to winning in the final round.
Like I think it was incredibly close.
You can't go and say that Gary didn't fight an incredible fight.
I'll get Lachlan on Matt to put a clip on it here, but like, it was incredibly close. If you see this moment, you'd be like, bro. He should have just gone for it. Like he should have just killed it then.
He really could have killed it.
Do you think that might
it could be a fighter? It could be a fight IQ thing. Maybe he didn't realize.
Do you think that might indicate that he's not the top?
No, not the top. It could be just like
maybe it's just like knowledge, like a little fight knowledge, like maybe just
being aware or like
he hasn't fought at that level for long enough.
Or he's never done a 5-rounder. He's never passed the second round or something.
Really? Third round. Yeah, he wasn't it like all of his knockouts within like the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, literally every one of them.
All of his knockouts in the
every
UFC
single one of them were in the first couple rounds.
I mean, did he finish by knockout every other fight?
I think every fight.
Every fight was 100% finisher in the UFC as well.
Yeah.
So to be fair, to be in the 5th round, you're like, he's probably gassed.
Yeah. I think with Ian Gary as well, a fighter who was really making him work the first couple rounds. Ian Gary was fighting super smart. I feel like he knew that Prates was like this dangerous fighter that could put a stop.
Like he knows. Like Ian Gary knows Prates could knock him out.
Okay.
Like, there's definitely a very good chance of that.
So he if anything, it was smart. Fighting from Gary to
100%.
That was his game plan the entire fight. 100%. He knew that Prates had this danger.
But it's ridiculous. Like he hits him,
whole sequence,
and it's just like, what the hell?
Like that does not look like a position you want to be in the final round, 5th round of this fight. Gary just came off a loss as well. Yeah. Not that it was like a big
and
loss.
You see what I mean? He kind of
it's
Gary's the blonde.
Irish guy, so it's this.
One of these coming up.
It's
one of them just come in and it's like boom.
And there's another one when he was pretty
against
close
the cage
to the cage.
As well. Yeah, against
there's
the cage.
There's another bit
well.
when he's close against the cage.
Oh fuck, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. And it's like when you see what I mean, it looks
like
he hesitates. He's like hesitates.
Gary just like cruising.
Look at this way, just like actually like clipping him.
Yeah.
You can just see Gary just cruising away.
No, but you see what I mean by he looks like he's like kind of hesitant and like kill him, like finish it off. You know what I mean?
Maybe he just thinks Gary has something up his sleeve. leave. Like,
he's probably worried. Like maybe he's opened himself up to then also count.
Gary hasn't fought. I mean, Practice hasn't fought
overall,
as big as Gary. And Gary basically fought the number one contender. No.
Yeah.
Shavkat's gonna go for the title next, and I wouldn't even say that Ian Gary lost in a bad way.
I wouldn't be surprised if even Ian gets a fight before Shavkat.
Maybe.
Because Ian did really well against Rakhmonov.
Yeah, Ian signed up for the short notice now. Yeah. He could, if what's his name, Jack
Della Maddalena pulls out.
Maddalena pulls out, or if he gets injured, Ian Gary's there. 12 days notice. By the way,
that's definitely a fight.
And that will be his third fight. He pulls up late notice. If I'm not wrong.
It would be because
3 in a row.
The first one against Shavkat as well. This was technically late notice. Yeah. It was late notice for Prates as well because they both didn't. Like Prates had another opponent. Okay. Ian had another opponent, and it just kind of fell into place.
Yeah,
fair enough.
But next week will be another UFC event. Sandhagen against Figueiredo.
Yeah.
Decent event.
Both.
Actually, no, we'll do the predictions at the end.
Yeah, and then we have Rainier De Ridder against Bo Nickel as well. That's going to be an interesting fight in that one. Yeah. So De Ridder's a new guy, Dutch guy. He's won all his fights so far. I think a couple of them by submission. He's good on the ground, really good guy. And against Bo Nickel, who's fantastic on the ground as well. So it's going to be an incredible ground fight, I think.
Known for that.
But Bo Nickel's decent on the feet as well. So it's going to be a really interesting fight, that one.
Okay.
100%.
It's not even the main event, but it's going to be an interesting fight.
Well, I feel like most UFC cards have fights even lower down, which are just
you might absolutely see like sometimes a crazy fight.
We watch fights, we don't know the people. They're like, holy shit, who's this guy, bro?
There's like,
a lot of people will be
that's
like,
how you find everyone, like the
Diego Lopez
nerds.
the first
they
time.
Want anyone, Diego Lopez. I fell in love with him back in it would have been 2 years ago when we were watching his
first time he's fought, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, even after he lost to Russian's fighter Enolev or something like that.
Evloev.
He lost to him.
Yeah,
by decision.
Is a good one as well.
He's super good fighter.
But talking about good fights as well, we all watched a really good fight on Saturday night.
Arguably one of the best boxing fights in the last 5 years.
Yeah, definitely one of the best boxing fights I've watched.
I've not watched that many. I've watched maybe the McGregor fight. Pacquiao, a lot of the UFC fighters in there. Pacquiao against Mayweather as well. Yeah. But from what I've seen, it's one of the best ones. Yeah, I think
they put on a show,
especially towards the end. Like they were just going for it, bro.
Super talented athletes.
They were just.
There was a moment where I thought Ben got knocked out by Eubank.
And there were points that I thought Eubank was really getting it laid down.
I know.
You know?
It was two fighters who are just at the top of their game.
No, definitely.
Yeah. Who, I mean, the history there is crazy. Like my dad was obviously there with us, and he was like, I remember when the dads were fighting back in my day.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Crazy, huh?
To think about that.
And then they're both their sons, both fighting like that as well. Because arguably the fight back then was also like it was I think Eubank won and then it was a draw. So like this was kind of like the decider between the families.
Right. And it's like
and now Eubank's the better family. It's just
the battle of the boxing families.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean the whole pub was
jam-packed.
The energy was incredible.
The whole pub was packed.
Everyone's eyes were glued to the screen.
Yeah. It was literally ridiculous. Like I don't know, when we first got into the pub, it was like not empty, but it wasn't like. Yeah. And then the fight starts, boom. It was like you can't walk anywhere, bro.
Everyone who was outside drinking or smoking is inside, just like everyone.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy as well.
It does show that. Some people will say, boxing doesn't bring the hype.
Yeah.
Saturday would say otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I think boxing. Boxing, I think maybe. Would you say there are less big names in boxing than there are in UFC?
I wouldn't say so. I just feel like boxing fans are like very like diehard.
I think there's also like I think it's a very like not niche. It's like
I think they're more marketed.
There's different types of boxing fans too. Like traditionalists. There's like the ones who are kind of like me and Jake, I guess, who like kind of pop in every now and then and see the big names. We just like
fighting sports in general.
Yeah.
So.
I think UFC's marketed better.
Yeah.
It's also
global. It's more global.
Clearer as well.
Boxing.
I think
the day was classy. It was a classy event. It's always had that kind of like.
That's what Eubank said, right? As well, like the Eubank Senior, like it's a rich man sport. It's
exactly.
Luxury
it's
sport.
Completely different.
But like also it's just the amount of titles
and you see MMA and MMA kind of looks like
who
the
actually
complete
is the best. Yeah. You don't really have the rankings like you do in the UFC. UFC have marketed the whole package.
Yeah, it's
so much better.
And they do it to a global market, not just like to like certain like why do you have like a UK champion and then also like a world champion? Like
Yeah.
You should have the world champion, bro. World champion is the UK champion, you know what I mean?
But then again, you would say there's more money in boxing.
Of course.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
is why it's the rich man's sport.
Sponsors and everything.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think about quite literally boxing, like you say, you can't go on the ground, you can't kick someone.
No.
It's like classy fighting in a way. But MMA is like, bro, you're getting smashed.
Yeah.
Elbows, you're getting thrown
about.
about.
You've seen Merab be pissed at people in the crowds.
We see people
like
get picked up, dunked on their head, get knocked out from that and stuff. It's brutal.
But do you think that might be... in 5 years' time, which sport do you think will be bigger, UFC or boxing?
UFC.
I think UFC is like a
never-growing
company at this rate. Honestly, they're taking over.
If you look at UFC's also, now they've officially overtaken McGregor again in terms of followers, like 48 million followers or something.
Okay.
I think it has a bigger global following than boxing does.
I think so.
Potentially.
And do you think that is massively down to the marketing?
A lot of it to do marketing. Marketing 100%. And now they're going to maybe change from ESPN, which is very US based.
And it might
if they go Netflix or Amazon,
Netflix, like
I think they should go Netflix.
Bro, if they're Netflix or Amazon, that's worldwide.
Well, actually, going from marketing, fighting is now probably the most marketed in the world at the moment.
Definitely,
WWE.
WWE. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Moving on to WWE, right now they're probably the most marketed.
Probably
quote unquote fighting sport.
They're just bringing in like absolutely everyone and anyone from the outside world.
Yeah, like, since Netflix and everything, it's crazy.
It's arguably bigger than it's ever been.
And what I will say is, I feel like the WWE has taken things from the UFC. Yeah. Now they all work under TKO.
Yeah.
About being a global brand, having pay-per-views worldwide, like in Europe, around Europe, that's going to help the WWE massively because they're always known as a US fan base.
Yeah.
Always.
Generally,
Generally. They're obviously much more global. They have been for the last 20 years.
I would say the UK market's...
Yeah. But in terms of how fast the UFC has grown in that time span to get where they are now compared to WWE is much faster because
WWE has been around for years.
Yeah, because WWE started only very US local based. Yeah. While the UFC's gone, nah, we're going to make this global. Like, we're going to make this worldwide from the start.
I do think WWE is the biggest fighting sport in the world at the moment.
I think sports entertainment for sure.
Like 100%. You go through TikTok, Instagram,
100%.
Twitter. It's
just because it's outside influence.
And it also has I think it has the biggest generational like demographic viewership.
Yeah. Like you got like 10-year-olds watching it
and 50-year-olds, 80-years, 80-years, bro.
That's what they grew up on.
My grandmother watched it, bro. She's like, not here anymore, but like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
knew exactly what
time
WWE
ago. Yeah, exactly.
Was, right?
Exactly. It's a long time ago,
and that's why like arguably this show's come out because I've got into it.
Yeah.
I'd also got into UFC because of you.
Yeah.
Like I always, dabbled in boxing.
Yeah.
But I'd say I now follow WWE the most, UFC the second most, and then boxing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whereas before it was dabbled in boxing. Didn't really know anything about UFC apart from Conor McGregor.
Dabbled in WWE.
And WWE was like,
yeah.
it's like it's so skewed over the last few years. Even I'd say the last year.
Yeah.
I'd say even UFC's taken another step. WWE's
for sure.
WWE has skyrocketed in 2 years.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really think much about WWE for the last 5-6 years until it comes the last couple of years. I grew up on this show for years when I was a child, you know, and just recently dancing, talking about it. Now it's on Netflix. It's all just coming back.
And it's also
Netflix is
and like I said,
good.
the storylines. There's less to say like stupid shit on WWE. I don't know how to say that. There used to be a lot too much stupid shit. Like Vince used to make these like stupid weightlifting comments. Bro, it looks stupid. It
feels more real.
It's cheesy.
It feels more like they're building towards the actual fight.
They look at the UFC. UFC has post-fight stuff, like same like boxing did, but the UFC now, WWE now also has post-fight conferences, pre-fight conferences. They add all these different elements, like weigh-ins and all this stuff.
Actually making it more of a sport.
They make it look legit, you know?
Definitely.
Although it's all a theater,
yes,
they try to make these little details to make it look great. Like in a video game, you want, like, you know, in FIFA, you want all these little details to make the video game feel real.
Yeah.
But, you know,
and also, I think that's really good for WWE is they can still have your favorite fighter be like John Cena can't do what a lot of the current young WWE fighters can do, but he's still the main event.
Yeah.
Like he's that household
for example,
name,
like,
you know?
And it's like, for example, now Anthony Smith, for example, we talked about him. He's old now. Like even if he was the best in the world one day, he will always like drop when he gets old. He'll drop off.
Conor McGregor,
but they will drop off when they get older. But in WWE, they can still be fine because like, you know, it's very what they can do.
They're portraying a character to an audience at the end of the day, right? And they can do it.
It just depends on their body whether they're physically able to like do this for 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's on WWE.
Yeah.
Been an interesting weekend from Friday to Monday.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest thing to take out?
I like this new development of like this whole new like not season but like new dynamic we're gonna have with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker,
it's kind of
and
like
Paul
this
Heyman.
evil arc kind of thing, right? Like people are coming
but it's
together.
like evil, but like I fucking back them.
Yeah. It's like they're coming to take over.
Yeah, you know why? Because we've been with the bloodline for 2-3 years.
Longer than that, bro.
More actually,
so long.
It's been such a long time, and now we have this new like top faction that's kind of brewing now.
It's like, so fresh. It's also so like I wouldn't say it was predictable either.
No, I mean I predicted Rhys. You
did predict.
Quick.
And wait, did you see one thing? Okay, so what happened? If everyone didn't know, Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins basically, well, mainly Braun Breaker destroyed Sami Zayn.
Yeah, they basically
on
teamed
Seth's commands. Seth gave him a nod like, destroy this guy. Yeah. Destroyed him. The match got called off because he was too injured. And then
poor Sami, bro.
At one point, did you see when they were outside the ring?
It was so bad. Like he just got booted. I think this guy got speared maybe five times. Once with a run up, completely around the ring as well.
Well, lap the ring, bro.
And Seth Rollins.
And Braun doesn't hold back on his spears, bro. I swear he just throws himself.
But I think Braun's what the WWE like. He's that type of character is what the WWE needs.
Yeah, he's a cool character.
And I said, I think. Did you see at one point though? I said when Braun was like kind of in the. I think he tossed Sami back in the ring, and then Rollins goes to Braun and does this. Yeah. And people are saying it's the same sign that like The Rock did, right? Yeah. So may I be right? I may be right.
Maybe right. You may be right.
Maybe
still.
Conzy, if he was here, he'd be like, "Nah, tell me to shut up." But like, I may.
But he's not here this week.
He's not here, so he can't tell me to shut up. But maybe I'm still right. You never know.
I think the issue is...
But there's going to be someone else who I think joins that faction.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
I'll ask you that in a second.
Fighters there. Because Paul Heyman's not a fighter.
I'll ask you that in a second. But I think the reason The Rock's not been involved is actually just scheduling issues.
Yeah. Potentially, yeah.
Like, he's got his new movie coming out, which is when he's a UFC fighter.
Oh,
yeah.
That looks good.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Bro, that looks really good. Also, Usyk's in it, isn't he?
He is. There's a couple of UFC fighters. I think I'm pretty sure Sean O'Malley might be in it.
The makeup they did for that movie.
I think Sean might be in it.
It doesn't look like The Rock at all. It's wild. Like you can tell it's The Rock, but you can't.
Yeah, you can tell it's like some Samoan blood in there, but like you can't tell it's The Rock.
Let's get it up.
But what was the other thing I was gonna say about Rocky? Yeah, I expected him to come up before WrestleMania, if not before. At WrestleMania, and he hasn't
been seen.
So scheduling could be like
hasn't been seen since the selling his soul, right?
Yeah, essentially, since selling the soul.
Yes. So the movie's got obviously The Rock, Emily Blunt as his missus, Alexander Usyk, Ryan Bader, Bas Rutten, Lindsay Gavin. I'm trying to think. Satoshi Ishii, I think, is a UFC fighter. Robert Abreu, James Moonsari, again looks like a UFC fighter. But I mean, it does. The fact you've got Dwayne The Rock Johnson and
exactly.
a UFC fighter is
that's pretty sick.
He does look wham.
But what do you think?
He is.
But he's definitely trained his body to have that like slight bulge stomach.
That's just
I think that could be.
I think.
It could be the juice. It could be the age. Any combination.
But he does look like a who's
like Ngannou or something like that.
No, more like
he's so bulky.
Yeah, the guy that was in WWE moved to UFC, massive guy.
Brock Lesnar.
He looks like more like a Brock Lesnar build.
Right.
Then he like normally The Rock's more like taller, a bit leaner, more
really
in that he looks more like a fighter build than he usually is, which is cool. But
definitely.
So you wanted to ask who would be joining?
Who's the third?
Who do you? I think. Oof. Well, I've seen rumors. I don't know if Jake will know this guy, Austin Theory, and I think I may have said this before, but I don't think
Austin was brought up actually.
I think Austin would be a great addition to it. I don't know if he's gonna not break up, but like him and Grayson Waller are gonna think. But he has that like character of being a very like annoying but devilish, like thinks he's very good looking, but at the same time thinks he's the best. Like he's the shit. He's the new dog. He's like the young guy. He's gonna take over this company. All that. Like Randy Orton was when he was like young, right?
Maybe some beef in the circle as well if this other character came in.
There used to be a. Do you know Evolution when Batista Triple H? they're saying this could be Evolution 2.0. So Seth Rollins like the Triple H. Batista, the new one is Braun Breaker now.
Batista,
the Beast,
Braun
right?
is definitely Batista.
And then Austin,
it's so clear.
And that's why I think Austin Theory could be the Randy Orton, like that cocky, very young guy, who, like you know, does that kind of thing. And Paul Heyman's kind of like Ric Flair, who's just. Like,
I'm asking ChatGPT who they think the third person will be with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
What is ChatGPT gonna say?
I don't know. Who will be the third? There's no official announcement.
But.
What? Who's he cooking?
It's saying a lot of shit.
ChatGPT is giving you an essay,
It's giving me an essay.
Giving you an essay.
Apparently Becky Lynch. No way.
Maybe, but she turned. No,
she is the man.
She turned again on Bailey and stuff. She revealed she attacked Bailey, so you never know.
Give me more options.
Give me more options.
The Becky Lynch, the man.
I feel like
it would be more of a modern spin on it.
It would be
having a woman in there, and also she is the man.
Yeah,
like I think she could very easily beat up like Sami Zayn and stuff like that.
Yeah, it would make sense if Judgment Day was still big, because then maybe like Rhea. I mean, they're still there at Judgment Day, but Rhea's not really always there all the time.
Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross, I've heard, and people like the idea of that as well.
Yeah, so following her heel turn after attacking Lyra Valkyrie, Becky Lynch's character has obviously shifted.
Yeah,
Baron Corbin. He's too NXT.
Well, yeah.
He's too small. No offense.
I think
if I was next to him, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, for sure. He's looking huge.
He's massive.
Yeah. But in the other side of things, there's the Jey Uso feud now with Logan Paul that's happening.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Because I hear mixed things about this.
That was cool.
I like it personally. A lot of like traditional
always.
WWE fans don't like Logan Paul.
That's just they like Logan.
But he's good at what he does. Like, why you can hate him? Like, also, he came from like this other world, but like
they're both young.
He does it so well.
Yeah, they're both young. They both have history.
Yeah.
Like in the WWE.
Like,
Uso is loved by everybody,
and
Logan's hated by everybody. In terms of like a storyline, makes perfect sense.
It's perfect.
He's
it's
like a bad guy, good guy.
Logan Paul did it as well. Just really came out
and like
giving it to him.
How big they both are at the moment as well.
Yes.
Like just in general.
Conzy did speak to Logan about a world title fight.
He did.
So did Logan hint this at Conzy already?
We watched last week's episode. We hinted at this already happening.
Where Conzy he met Logan at the charity match, Sidemen charity match, and got a quick word with Logan and asked him what he
said to him.
Yeah, asked him, will you be a W world title? He's like, sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Is he gonna beat Jey Uso? Is he gonna beat Jey Uso? You think?
I think they could give it to him, honestly.
Do you think they give it to him?
I feel like it could be a good feud for a while, honestly.
You can't have two heels
But also, here's the thing. Jay's had this massive story. Yeah. Won the title and not the first defense. Like, no way.
Yeah, it would be rough.
It would be rough for Jay, bro.
I know, but I do think that WWE are veering for Logan to eventually.
And also, just be that antagonist for a while,
Maybe they don't want us to predict things like. If you say Logan win, no one expect him to actually win. If Logan wins, bro, holy fuck! Like no one expects that. It would be
crazy.
It'd be insane.
Also, like I do think that WWE they will slowly be building for Logan to become the guy.
Yeah.
You think he'll be the
I don't think he'll be the guy.
You think he'll be the face of the company?
I think it 5. I think a few more years.
You think he could be like a Roman Reigns or a Cody Rhodes?
But my only issue is I don't think he'll ever be not a heel.
Yeah.
How do you make Logan Paul not a heel?
First, he's got to earn respect from the fans.
Yeah.
Somehow.
But how do you do that?
I would have thought he had, because he's done brilliant in the ring, off the mic. Everything's been really good. So
they fucking hate him.
But that's
he's just that cocky, like kind of.
Because they hate him for his past, like what happens in the past, like all the things in his past. But like, bro,
and it's Logan Paul. Why would you not want to
think about every other WWE wrestler? Like they've done bad things in their past. Probably you don't know. So like you can't hate this guy. He's doing well now, and like
it's true.
I think he contributes more to WWE than he doesn't contribute. You know, like he adds a lot more.
He's a big part.
So much more.
He's such a big part
in the WWE.
Legit.
The whole Prime and bringing that involved in WWE has been huge for the company.
Him joining was arguably the catalyst for it to becoming what it is now.
Yeah, low key, because like
how many like cool people has he like brought onto the show?
Yeah,
like,
I think he also kind of made people.
Always around.
Yeah, I think he also kind of made people think like actually kind of is cool, you know. WWE's kind of cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Made it cool again, like.
Bro, he did.
He kind of made it cool again.
Like as much as like the old like viewers of WWE don't like him and say, how is he kind of
jumped into this world? Yeah.
John Cena says it absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Just because he hasn't earned his flowers, doesn't mean that he is not the guy.
Yeah.
Like he does the flips.
Such a natural.
He does the flips. He does the cool moves and has the mic stuff. And then also thinks of something unique every single WrestleMania.
I feel like some of the bumps he's taken is stuff I've not seen Cena take.
So hard.
Really?
Like, I don't know. Like, I think Logan would jump off the top of the cell. Yeah. I don't know if Cena's been thrown off the top of the floor.
I don't know.
Potentially.
But
He's been there for ages.
I think Logan is just, in terms of an overall package, he's there.
I think he just loves what he's doing right now.
Do you think generally though?
Loves being in the
I think
WWE,
generally like you can say the persona of a YouTuber, like to have that energy all the time, it kind of fits with WWE.
Yeah.
The physical aspect of it is a different story.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone could do it.
Not everyone could do it. I think people like if KSI tried, he could.
I don't think
potentially. I don't know his mic, how good it'd be, but like his physical attributes, he could.
His mic stuff, I think would be fine.
But actually, no,
like because you think about like the videos, he's like, I am the Nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, his mic stuff will be fucking sussy, bro. It'd be so sus and funny.
But like
Speed could.
But I don't think KSI has.
Speed is just too small for it. I think he had to be like a luchador or some crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Just like a Joker in the background.
Triple H has said though that
more
Speed has the athleticism.
He has the athleticism for sure. 100%. He took Braun Spear well.
Bro, that spear. Oh,
came out with some wounds, but
you also realize the size
did his neck.
The size difference, did his neck. Braun is huge, bro, and Jake's convinced Braun is roided for sure.
100%, he is off the juice.
He's 100%.
Well, no.
Interestingly, though, in the podcast that Joella did with who's the Scottish guy?
Oh, Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. He literally just straight up mid podcast goes, so, I mean, obviously it's not spoken about, but obviously everyone's on the juice, right?
Yeah, of course.
And what did Drew say?
And he was like, no, we have, because it's a sport, we have to be regulated.
You have to be regulated test now. So they're no longer on it, bro.
I don't think Drew McIntyre is. He's just is.
No, Drew McIntyre,
6'7", absolute unit,
and you can.
He was like, built for it.
He's just bro. He's like, he's
I want him to have another run. I want him to have another run.
I think he will. Everyone loves him, bro.
Well,
like WWE hates the UK wrestlers.
Yeah, well, that was one of our thumbnails. Yeah,
WWE hates UK wrestlers, but God, man, we also got to do some predictions, don't we? For
what's the predictions for this weekend? UFC.
UFC Fight 9.
There's no real boxing, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
I don't know any boxing. And then, is there any confirmed WWE fights?
I'm gonna have to say I'm unsure about the big.
I'm not too sure. It's probably just
I know the Backlash is coming.
Little things, but
Backlash is coming May 10th.
Yeah.
Which is what next weekend after, not this weekend. So the UFC is this weekend.
Yeah,
I believe.
UFC is this weekend.
100%. Is it?
Yeah, I'm 90% sure it is, right?
Let me give it a check.
The next May.
Yeah, this weekend. Yeah. So
on the 10th of May.
There's no. Are there any big matches on SmackDown or Raw?
So that would be next week, won't it, for us?
Yeah.
We'll do the predictions next week for Backlash.
Right. Yeah. Is there any WWE?
Cena, Randy Orton, Becky Lynch versus Laura Valkyrie, Pat McAfee versus Gunther. Pat McAfee versus Gunther.
Yeah, we haven't even spoken about that, bro. That'd be insane. Did you see the promo? His promo,
bro,
it's so good.
Bro, I was watching. I was like,
bro, Pat McAfee, bro.
I love that man.
Yeah.
Him becoming a wrestler makes sense to me.
Yeah, he just has this like character as well. Like,
he's such a good character, honestly. I love him.
His whole promo was so good.
It's like, super good.
Everything he said was like facts.
Yeah.
Like
literally.
Fair. Like he has his voice work is so good, and he does ESPN. He does so many sports.
He has his own like show.
He his podcast, and then he's done WWE. Like, what can't the man do?
No, literally. And I think Gunther with him would be really nice. Like, I think on the mic they could. I think Gunther, even I think who is it? Conzy said underrated on the mic. I think Gunther and him on the mic could be a really good back and forth.
If Gunther doesn't absolutely pulverize him, I'm surprised.
Yeah, it would be an interesting spectacle to see.
Yeah, because you can't
absolutely annihilate Gunther.
Because you can't go from Gunther being one of the best world heavyweight champions. To then losing his J,
just be a little
losing
bitch.
his J already. He's never.
In the way he did as well.
But he's also lost only 4 matches. So you can't lose one of them to fucking Pat McAfee, bro.
I think it's.
You can't lose that fight. He has to win it.
I did love the promo.
I did think. I didn't expect it to be a fight in the end. I thought that Pat McAfee was getting beat up by Gunther, so Gunther can have a break.
But they really wanted a fight.
Yeah, because I thought Gunther would just get suspended and he'll have a bit of a break off screen, like for a bit, like have a holiday or something.
But yeah,
next turns out no, he's gonna be back on Backlash and like fighting Pat McAfee, bro. What the fuck?
Next week we got some big predictions to make. So I'm excited.
Definitely are.
But in terms of
UFC this week, I think that's. I mean, from watching,
I don't. We're
gonna do the top five because I don't know what's happening in SmackDown and Raw of the big fights happening. So we'll start with the most unknown fight. Okay, I'm gonna do a different one instead of that one, but I'll do the prelim one because Miesha Tate's on it, and Miesha Tate's fighting again. So you know Miesha Tate?
Nope.
She's
ex-champion, no?
Ex-champ.
Yeah, ex-champion.
She's 38 now.
She's been away for a while.
38. Yeah. She's on the prelim. So Yana Santos against Miesha Tate.
Kind of cool to have her back.
We're gonna just predict on 3.
So who am I doing?
Miesha Tate or Yana Santos. I don't know much about Yana Santos.
Okay.
But
3, 2, 1.
Yana Santos. I just don't think Miesha Tate.
I don't know. Miesha Tate back in the UFC
but then again,
so long.
Yana Santos is 35 as well. I don't know.
Okay,
you know what? I will say Miesha Tate. Fuck it. I'll say Miesha Tate.
You go for it.
Okay, wait. I've just also got confirmed fights for the weekend as well, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Rusev's back.
Ooh.
For Monday.
Against?
Otis.
Oh, a big fight, yeah.
And then Penta versus JD McDonough.
Is there any big fight?
And then also Aleister Black versus The Miz. I'd say we just do Penta.
Yeah.
And Penta and Rusev. And do top 3 from that.
Okay, then ignore the other one then.
ignore that last one.
ignore Yana Santos and Miesha Tate. Okay, we'll do the 3 UFC ones first. Santiago Ponzinibbio is an Argentine fighter.
Okay.
Been in it for a long time as well, 38. Against 38-year-old Daniel Rodriguez.
As we saw on the list.
Yeah. Daniel Rodriguez, I don't know too much about, but I know he's got a lot of tattoos. And Ponzinibbio has been all right in the last couple of fights, I think.
All right,
so they're both been okay. I think it's just another.
I'm gonna go.
Give me the names.
Yeah.
Ponzinibbio or Rodriguez.
3, 2, 1.
Ponzinibbio. You're going Rodriguez.
Okay.
I went for Ponzinibbio.
Fair.
We'll see how it goes. No. They're both good fighters, honestly.
This is the fight I'm really looking forward to. More than Figueiredo Sandhagen.
Yeah, definitely.
Renier de Ridder against Bo Nickel.
Yeah.
I know Bo Nickel.
I said de Ridder, he's got 2 fights in the UFC. One of them was on a fight night with Prates. He fought against Gerald Meerschaert, an old German guy, which he won submission. He beat Kevin Holland in recent fight.
Oh yes, I remember that fight. Yeah,
he destroyed Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland's another one of those big fighters that you kind of gateway fight.
Yeah, exactly. He's a gateway fighter.
If you beat Kevin Holland, you can go up to one of the name guys now. You know.
And no, de Ridder's against Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel's undefeated in UFC.
Yeah, 8-0, right?
7-0. 7-0. Beat Paul Craig last fight by decision, but. He's won a couple of fights, submission, and I think he's got knocked down a couple of people as well. I think Brundage he knocked down with but he won by submission in the end.
Count us in, bro.
Yeah.
3. So it's de Ridder or Bo Nickel. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Renier de Ridder. I'm gonna go for de Ridder, bro.
Okay.
I'm risking it.
I like it.
I'm gonna go for the Dutch
But
guy.
you really don't think Bo Nickel can win this fight?
No, obviously Bo Nickel could win the fight. I think Bo Nickel is probably the favorite, but I just feel like maybe de Ridder's got something in him like we haven't seen yet. Kind of like Dricus, you know? Like Dricus, South African kind of people said, you can do a bit of both. You can fight, you can brush, you know, but he's really good. He's champion now.
Fair enough. I like the fact that we got different answers.
Yeah, we have.
100%.
And then now the biggest fight on the card essentially is Corey Sandhagen against Davison Figueiredo. Corey Sandhagen. What has he done in the last few fights? He fought last time in 2024. He lost to Umar. Umar's insane, so I don't blame him for losing.
Figueiredo just came off a loss, no?
I think so. And then before that, Sandhagen beat Marlon Chito Vera and Rob Font before that.
Okay.
So still good names in the division.
Figueiredo lost against who?
I don't remember.
Mexican guy, right?
Yeah,
what's his name?
90%
Brandon Moreno?
Sure he lost.
Oh no, he fought Peter Yan.
He lost.
Peter Yan, he lost too. But he beat Chito Vera as well, and he beat Cody Garbrandt. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Give me the full names again.
Cody Sandhagen or Davison Figueiredo.
Okay.
So Brazilian or American guy.
3, 2, 1.
Sandhagen.
We have 3
three different options.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
And the other one you were saying Rusev against.
So Rusev versus Otis, obviously 2 ginormous men.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Rusev.
No, Rusev will win it.
I think they have to because Rusev returning. Yeah, his first fight back. Like, he's returning. They're gonna push him. Yeah, for the story, he's gonna push him.
Penta versus JD McDonough.
Oh, surely.
3, 2, 1.
Penta. Surely.
I'm a big Penta enjoyer.
But you never know.
But he's lost too many recently.
He could get
He's lost his last 2 fights.
But it might be not a clean win. It could be like a disqualification or like
someone
interferes or some shit.
Yeah, I've loved Penta.
But I think Penta. But Jake likes Penta as well.
Yeah, after getting back into WWE, I've really enjoyed watching.
I love Penta.
Like your new school Rey Mysterio.
I've always loved Rey Mysterio, man. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's very easy to fall in love with a character like that.
Yes,
again,
it is. I think he's almost cooler.
Yeah,
I think he's cooler than Rey.
More modern, like Neo vibe, right?
Yeah. With like the way his mask sits.
Yeah, I think also because he has the face paint and stuff as well that he does. But I think definitely interesting predictions we've got going on. So that was split decision again.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very split.
It was very split this time around. It was.
There was
we normally do a game show.
Decisions.
We normally do a game show, but we don't have the fourth person here to make it a bit interesting and a bit more spicy. So unfortunately, that is all we do have for today. Please check us out on YouTube, on all other social platforms. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week for more combat sports, WWE, boxing, everything there.
Sir.
Let's go.